Welcome back. Welcome back to Hannity. It was another day of controversy for Hunter Biden as his art show continues to raise mounting ethics concerns. Experts are now saying these amateur art pieces, some expected to sell for as much as $500,000, are significantly overpriced. And Florida Congressman Michael Waltz is set to introduce a bill aimed at providing greater transparency into Hunter's secretive business dealings, requiring presidents and vice presidents to provide financial disclosures for their non-dependent children. Congressman Waltz joins us now with the latest, along with Fox News contributor Lara Trump. All right, Congressman Waltz, first of all, congratulations to you, because they kept saying it's all fine. No one will ever know who's selling, who's buying, who's paying. So kudos to you for at least thinking of a bill. What will your bill do?
Well, you know, Hunter Biden he's an artist. He's a con artist is the type of artist he is. And let's just review very quickly his masterpiece, his gallery of corruption that are full of masterpieces. Exhibit A, Burisma. Vice President Biden then in charge of reducing corruption in the Ukraine. Hunter Biden on the board of one of the most corrupt companies in the country. Exhibit B, China. Flies with Vice President Biden to China on official business on Air Force Two, and months later, $1.5 billion invested, partnered with the Central Bank of China, and to this day, Judge, to this day, is an equity holder in the Chinese nuclear supplier group, which is blacklisted for trying to steal warhead technology from the United States. And then, of course, Exhibit C, this, absolutely corrupt new art business. Enough is enough. Let's get to the bottom of it. This bill would force disclosure. I want to know who's circumventing the law and getting to the White House through buying this. I even put air quotes around art.
Well, he seems to be an expert, Laura, at being able to bring in money and, the laptop, which we all know was his, and he didn't deny it, gives 10% to the big guy. As a Trump, as Congressman Waltz was walking through that with us, I couldn't help but think how the left tried to make every day hell for President Trump. I mean, what's your take on how this family has been able to get away with it?
Well, all of it is a shame. All of it is a sham. All of it is terrible for America. And Congressman Waltz's bill, I think, is a great idea. Unfortunately, we have had to get here in America. You've got to force transparency in the Biden administration because no one knows who is buying these outrageously priced art pieces. And by the way, I didn't need the experts to tell me that they were overpriced, Judge. I love that whole part of it. But it's really sad because what the bill ultimately would do is, I guess, for future non-dependence of presidents, it's going to, and vice presidents, it's going to force them to disclose their financial information. This is like the one kid that can't behave at recess, so the whole class has to get punished. But it would be nice to know what is happening behind the scenes. As Congressman Waltz just walked through, we know that Hunter Biden has been dependent on Joe Biden and his position in government for many, many years, and to the tune of millions and billions of dollars of profit for the Biden family. So hopefully we can get to the bottom of this. He certainly had no experience that got him the job at Burisma. That was because his dad was vice president. Certainly getting money from China, from Russia, all because his dad was vice president, had nothing to do with his skill set whatsoever. So would be nice to get to the bottom of exactly what he's making all that money for.
And, Congressman Waltz, I don't know about you, but I really don't have a lot of faith in the Department of Justice getting to the bottom of anything, as Laura is saying. I mean, she's absolutely right. We need to get to the bottom of it. I don't know that the DOJ will. What do you think the chances are of your bill getting passed?
Well, I agree with you on the DOJ. I mean, the fact that he was under investigation during the 2020 election and the DOJ, to stay apolitical, decided not to reveal any of that. Well, that was a political decision. The American people deserve to know that before they cast their vote. But I don't think we see this actually move, to be candid with you, Judge, until we fire Nancy Pelosi in 15 months and send her back to her ice cream in California. But I have to tell you, when we do take the majority, we are going to get to the bottom of these business dealings from the House of Representatives, because what I want to know is what kind of businesses are the Chinese directing Hunter to give them access to. The Chinese Communist Party isn't giving him $1 billion to buy a shoestring factory in Michigan. They want robotics. They want advanced materials. They want artificial intelligence. They want things their military can use to then dominate the United States. And if there was a circumvention of our export controls and trying to protect that IP, that's what I want to get to the bottom of, and I think there's a lot more shoes to drop here.
Well, I don't think there's any question there's a lot more shoes to drop. But Lara, Laura, the last question to you. I mean, with respect to Hunter Biden and the sales of this so-called art, I mean, do you think we'll ever be able to find out? Let's assume that the bill doesn't pass. Will we ever get to the bottom of that, or will they just be shoveling in millions through that funnel called art?
Unfortunately, we probably will never know. It'll be just like everything else with the Biden family, cover up after cover up, help, of course, from the DNC, help from the marketing arm for the Democrat Party, also known as the mainstream media. We will never get to the bottom of this. And unfortunately, it is terrible for America. What a bad precedent something like this could set. And it's incredibly frustrating to see because, as you know, as I continue to say and you continue to hear from our family, when my father-in-law was president, we went out of our way to make sure that there was full transparency. We didn't have to do it, but we paid every dollar that any foreign entity spent at a Trump property back to the United States Treasury because we didn't want to have the faintest hint of impropriety. When we wanted everything to be above board. They still came after us. They still continue to come after President Trump. The prosecutors out there in New York are absolutely disgraceful, letting criminals go and yet going after Donald Trump and the Trump organization for nothing. It is absolutely outrageous.
Sometimes it's hard to recognize this country as America. Congressman Waltz, Lara Trump, thanks so much to both of you.
All right. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.